런던 벤처캐피탈 네트워크의 댄 이덴가님께서 해외 투자자가 바라본 투자 시장에 대해 발표해 주겠습니다.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor to be here on behalf of London Venture Capital Network. So today I've been asked to speak a little bit about how Korean companies can go global. So let's get into it because we don't have much time. A bit of background on myself. My background is in startups and VC. Trained in New York in finance. Did my first startup back in 2016. And it was a crazy experience because it kind of lit up my imagination. Before doing a startup, I never thought that I would be able to achieve the types of things that I'd achieved. But eventually, during COVID, we built a digital medical wallet. Similar concept to the previous company that spoke before us, except we didn't use blockchain. And we were focused on COVID-19. Within 2 years, we exited from that business and started doing investments with the founder of that company. I'm pleased to say I'm still with that company at NTN Holdings, where we invest into resilience-themed opportunities, primarily in the US. However, I eventually started working at a fintech VC in the UK, looking at UK Middle East fintech. And through that experience, I just kept doing events to broaden my network and learn more about the ecosystem. So eventually, we established London Venture Capital Network, which represents the venture capital ecosystem in the UK. We're pleased to have brought 2 investors with us on this trip to Korea. But here's a bit more about, okay, something went wrong with the slide. I don't know what's going on. But basically, we are partnered with 38 different funds across various continents, representing $26 billion of assets under management, and working to provide access to the VC ecosystem globally. We do this by running the London VC Summit, London VC Week, and more. We also do education around investment. So first of all, why should Korean founders consider going global? Obviously, it's a really crazy world out there. I'm going to start with the last bullet point, which is comfort equals lack of growth. So obviously, this world is extremely competitive. You have new markets that are coming up. We recently took 18 investors to Dubai, and we saw the huge amount of ambition going on in that market. So we'd love to have Korean founders competing with them and really, really exceeding expectations as they have done in the past. But it's not going to be easy. So let's just go through a couple of the points. So attracting new investors and capital, very obvious. Strategic collaborations. And I think one of the interesting ones is getting a different perspective on the companies that already exist. So if you have a startup, why not bring it to another market and see what the people in those markets are doing? And by doing that, you can rethink your concept and pivot if necessary, if helpful. And yeah, you can even find new ways to apply your technology. There's a recent example of an app that was used to write notes between couples. And eventually, people started using it as a grocery list. So you never know what your product will end up being used for in different contexts. So obviously, we're here on behalf of the UK market. The UK is Europe's #1 venture capital ecosystem. London, in particular, is always ranked in the top 3 startup hubs globally, and it's one of the best places, arguably, to launch an early-stage startup. In particular, London is very strong in fintech, health tech, deep tech, AI, B2B SaaS, etc. And we have incredible talent at a quite affordable price, actually. On top of that, the government has implemented extremely promising measures to promote the VC capital injection into the industry, primarily focused on pension funds. So at the moment, historically, the UK hasn't leveraged pension funds to boost the VC ecosystem, but we think that that's going to be a massive game changer in the future. On top of that, we have a lot of institutions making it easier to make investment in the UK. British Business Bank, one of the largest, potentially the largest LP in the UK. Innovate UK provides significant grant funding for especially deep tech companies, but a lot of different sectors, including clean tech, and even for female founders, etc. So on top of that, actually there's a lot of interest in attracting talent to the UK. So we have the Innovator Visa, we have the Global Talent Visa, and these are ways that Korean founders who are doing something exceptional can take advantage of the UK's market position and expand their product or service in a new region. Where can Korean startups win? If you look around this exhibition today, you'll find a lot of hardware startups. Korean founders have a tendency to be very successful in deep tech, and that's one of the areas we think Korean founders can take advantage of. However, there's a lot of opportunity across sectors. So whether it's prop tech, fintech, health tech, med tech, there's always a space for you. Of course, one of the challenges would be potentially the language and culture barrier. So let's talk about that. So for everyone in the audience, I highly recommend reading this book. It will help you to navigate international conversations. From my personal experience, I've had several years of working in the US market. And when I moved to the UK, I really thought it would be a similar work experience, but it wasn't. And the reason is culture. And culture is a hugely underrated skill. When you understand culture, you're going to be 10 times more successful and effective in your communication, whether it's on giving feedback, you're talking to investors and securing funding. You want to make sure you understand where your investors are coming from. And if you don't, it's going to be a lot tougher. I've added an interesting graphic. So let's just look at the first example. So this is like exactly how people perceive conversations when, depending on where they come from. So in the example, you have a British person and a Dutch person. Dutch people tend to speak very directly, and British people are known to speak indirectly. So in the example, they say, with all due respect, and what the British person means is, I think you are wrong. What the Dutch person understands is, he's listening to me. So this is a dramatically different understanding. And I think founders, especially founders operating in global ecosystems, need to read this book to familiarize themselves with these realities. Another topic I hear about from Korean founders is, should I go to the US, should I go to the UK? And there's good reasons to go to the US. A lot of the growth stage companies in the UK do end up going to the US. However, the UK is really good for early stage. We have great tax advantages for angel investment. But as you can see in the chart, the US does have a larger check size potential. And for the founders in the room, I do recommend being very targeted in your approach with investors, if that's what your goal is when going abroad. Understand what type of investor you need and be very careful about what sectors they focus on. Because a lot of founders tend to spray and pray, which means they kind of reach out to everyone and hope that it's a successful endeavor. But actually, you want to be very selective in who you outreach. You don't want to just message everyone because it can also damage your reputation. And so the number one topic that people have recommended we discuss today is actually networking and the topic of, communication. So where can Korean founders potentially improve? Something that I've heard a lot is marketing themselves. So how do you market yourself in an international market, whether you're looking for partners, whether you're securing funding? I think being able to communicate effectively and clearly is a really underrated skill. So for those founders who might not be confident to pitch on a pitch session, join accelerators and put themselves out there, I recommend Toastmasters International as a public speaking practice forum. It's a great way to just develop those skills. But obviously learning culture, learning language will be very beneficial as well. So I don't really have a lot of time today to speak more, but I hope that was beneficial for someone. And we look forward to seeing some of you at our future events, including London VC Summit and the Venture Capital Winter Ball. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the great presentation. 이번에는 일본에서 오신 대표님입니다. 전문 소프트웨어 엔지니어를 대상으로 HR 테크 서비스를 이끌고 있는 파인디에서 해외 진출 사례를 공유해 주실 텐데요. 해외 시장에서의 도전과 경험을 중심으로 흥미로운 발표 준비해 주셨다고 합니다. 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. Let's welcome Mr. Yamada to the stage. Please give a big hand.
Hello everyone. I'm Yuichiro Yamada, CEO of the Findy. Thank you very much for today's presentation. And today I would like to share about our company history and strategy, and also I would like to share what the difference between Japanese entrepreneur and Korean entrepreneur, because I met more than 100 or 200 CEO and CTO here. And before my presentation, I would like to share about myself. And I worked in Mitsubishi Heavy Industry after graduated and moved on to Boston Consulting. And I had experience of a startup, edtech startup company for the 7 years, and which is already IPO company. And then I found Findy almost 9 years ago. And this is a company overview. We have more than 360 staff, mainly in Tokyo, and currently we start Seoul office and Bangalore office in India. And we are kind of a Series D startup company, and we already get a fundraising 4.3 billion yen. And this is our shareholder, including a Korean venture capital, which is LB investment. So they support our expansion in Korean market right now. And this is today's agenda, explaining about our Findy and the Findy Team Plus, which is our product in the Korean market, and the growth history of Findy and Japan-Korea tech synergy, so on. And this is our company's vision. We focus on creating a platform that unlocks software engineers' highest potential. Because in Japan and in here, Korea also, we have a population decreasing issue and elderly society. So we need a digital transformation and also digital innovation for the society. So we focus on engaging a software engineer and AI engineer. They challenge for new innovation. So that's why we focus on a software engineer platform right now. And this is our main product. So our revenue, 95% from those kind of product. In Japan, we started from a recruiting platform, and we already have more than 130,000 users and more than 1,000 clients, and we develop algorithm to analyze GitHub, OSS activity, and then we predict next year's salary. So it's a very interesting for high-level, highly skilled engineer. So that's why we can grow very quickly, and we add Findy freelance, which is a freelance version of our Findy jobs. And then currently we start a Findy Team Plus, which is a software engineering analytics platform, and we support how adapt for AI or developer productivity, so on. And currently, we start like those kind of a new product in the Japan market. We have like a DevOps platform, so which is like analyzing like AI tools, DevOps tool vendors, review from like Japanese developers. So currently, we held like a conference in Tokyo focusing like an AI engineering summit, and we invite like a Cursor or Anthropic, such kind of like a AI player, because like Japan is like our second largest AI market for like a US AI vendor right now. And also we start like our AI product of like a Find Team Plus or PDM for the PDM product currently. And this year we launched like a TV commercial in Japan, use of Dragon Ball animation, because like this like female like Bulma is like a genius engineer on the TV program. So we use like this character for like our TV commercial in Japan. This is the history of like our Findy growth. We already finished like our Series D fundraising like almost 1 year ago, and our revenue this year probably almost like more than 5 billion yen 2025. So we can go like 150% our current years. And this is like our client numbers. So we achieved like more than 3,800 clients, mainly in Japan, and currently including like a Japanese big enterprise company like Honda, Toyota, Panasonic, because like those kind of like enterprise companies start to hire like software engineer to build like their own developer organization right now. Yeah, in Japan, just now we start like a digital transformation, and then they start to use like AI tools currently. So we can grow very quickly to support like those kind of company right now. And the Find Team Plus in the Korean market. So at the beginning, we would like to explain about like what is a Find Team Plus. So this service maximizes like business impact with the developer workflow data. So we get the data from like a GitHub, Jira, those kind of Atlassian product, and also GitLab. You know, like currently, GetDX, which is like a US company acquired by like Atlassian, and I think like a $1.5 billion, I heard. $1 billion, I'm sure. But this product, like visualization, is the most important, like function. So visualize the development work for clear insights. And then we have like AI analyze system to understand like what kind of like improvement point of like organization. And we also like support like improvement of like developer organization right now. Yeah, of course, like currently like AI is like a most like impact for our business right now, because like a lot of like AI player start like a business in Japan. Of course, like our company use like Debian, Grind, Cursor, Cloud Code currently, and coding process totally changed like this year. So this year is like same as like my 9 years after like founding my own company right now. So what the difference is like you can check like this graph in our product. So blue. This is a kind of like activity of like our company's engineer. Blue bar shows engineer write down the code, and red bar shows like AI write down the code. So this code like written by AI, and currently like 80 to 90% of like source code are written by like AI. We start from like Debian, but he changed like a tool from like a Debian to like a Cloud Code. So it's kind of like a huge impact for our organization right now. So that's why like we add like those kind of functions. So this is one of like AI adoption rate of the company. So which team can adapt for the AI quickly and what the differentiate between like teams and departments, so on. And you can drill down like which person can use like AI, for, like, and yeah, it's kind of a drill down tool also. And still, like a Japanese enterprise love to use like GitHub Copilot. So we support like usage of like GitHub Copilot adaptation right now. Those kind of AI tool like support like proceed like using like AI tool in the developer organization right now. And we started like our sole office from this July, and we already have like around like 10 paid clients, mainly like a startup company we started, but we currently like a POC phase of like a big enterprise company, and yeah, they want to like improve like their developer organization and also adapt for like AI right now. So we have like partnership, for example, like Megazone, such kind of like a player support like our expansion in Korea. And last part, Japan Korea tech synergy, yeah. This is like what's like a potential of like a Korean startup. So before like I explained like this slide, I have met with like over 100 Korean startup CEO, CTO, and I have a lot of the insight into like strengths of like a Korean startup and the potential for like Japanese market. And what the strength is like Korean company is like really high technology comparing to other countries, and still a lot of the engineer who like map or search or cloud AI so on. So I will explain in detail about like strengths of like a Korean startup. So first one is like startup invest heavily in engineering and development, and many are highly technology oriented. So for example, like if you visit like a Japanese startup, I think like 20 to 30% of like staff occupied like only engineer. But in Korea, I think like 50 or 60% from like an engineer oriented person. It's very common in the Korean startup. So it's very interesting for me. So that's why like we feel like a potential in the Korean market. And also, yeah, speed of like catching up new technology are really higher than like other countries. For example, like in Japan, MCP trend is like April, but here in Korea, January. So similar as like US trend. And also, yeah, already mentioned like a strong like a global orientation, and English level is much higher than Japanese people. So it's a kind of like a opportunity for like Korean startups. And also challenge for like a Korean company. Honestly, like a B2B business is like not so much deeply than like a Japanese like environment. Because like in Japan, like a customer pay much amount of the money compared to a Korean startup company. So we can grow with like startup clients at the beginning and then move on to like an enterprise company. So, for example, like our S&M sales and marketing process is like much, sophisticated in the Japanese market. And also, like our Japanese language barrier is much higher than here, I think. So we have like our allergy of the English, honestly. So if we like wrote like other language, just like close like a window. So please be careful. And yeah, we already explained about like our S&M cost. So like our we have like a stance of like investment of like S&M more than like Korean company. So it's a kind of a difference between like our market. And then like what is the potential of like a Korean company? So AI technology and industrial domains. So yeah, here like there are a lot of like robotics companies and also like AI oriented like a manufacturing solution. So those kind of companies have like an opportunity for the Japanese market, I think. And also providing a technology in an area where Japan still like lags behind. For example, like our map, like our map technology or GPU cloud or something like that. About those kind of like technology connected to like government issue. So probably those kind of startup need like a collaboration with like a Japanese company, I think. Yeah, and kind of like a K-pop, so such kind of domains really popular in Japan. Probably everyone know. So that's why like we can support like particularly in like DevOps area and the AI area opportunity in the Japanese market. So we held like those kind of conference, AI Engineering Summit, or more than like 7 or 8 conference, like not really so big, but we held like more than 1,000 people gathering those kind of conference. And if you are interested in like a Japanese market, and understanding you want understanding the Japanese company, please contact to me. It's like Kakao's QR code. So after like my presentation, I will exchange like a LinkedIn also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. 네, 해외 VC와 일본 파인디의 귀한 통찰이 담긴 발표 잘 들었습니다. 자, 이제부터는 2025 디지털 미디어 테크쇼 창업경진대회 본선 피칭 순서로 이어가겠습니다. 이번 경진대회는 글로벌 시장 진출과 성장을 목표로 하는 팀들이 함께하는 무대입니다. 오늘 피칭은 모두 영어로 진행될 예정이오니 좌측의 스크린 참고해 주시기 바랍니다. 이제 치열한 예선을 통과한 5팀이 세계 시장을 향한 도전과 잠재력을 보여드릴 시간입니다. 참석자 여러분께서는 자리에 편안히 착석하시어 참가팀들의 열정적인 발표와 깊은 관심과 집중을 부탁드립니다. 본격적인 피칭에 앞서 공정하고 객관적인 심사를 위해 각국에서 귀한 발걸음 해주신 5분의 심사위원을 소개해드리겠습니다. 먼저 앞서 발표해주신 런던 벤처스 캐피탈 네트워크 VC인 판데니 이덴가님께서 자리해 주셨습니다. 두 번째로 런던에서 마찬가지로 오셨습니다. 테니티 CEO시고요. 칸 아크님께서 함께 해주시고 계십니다. 세 번째로 오드바 VC이신 그비테 옵타님께서 참석해 주셨습니다. 네 번째로 권세준 동국대학교 법무대학원 교수님께서 심사위원으로 참석해 주셨습니다. 마지막으로 하나증권 김동욱 상무님께서 함께 자리하셨습니다. 바쁘신 일정에도 귀한 시간을 내어 자리 빛내주신 모든 심사위원님께 진심으로 감사드립니다. 이제 무대를 피칭 참가팀에게 넘겨볼까요? 2025 디지털 미디어 테크쇼 창업경진대회 본선 피칭 지금부터 시작하겠습니다. 오늘 피칭의 첫 순서입니다. 인도에서 온 스타트업 콘넥트인데요. 세계 경제의 새로운 성장 동력으로 주목받는 인도 시장에서 출발하여 아시아를 넘어선 새로운 연결의 비전을 보여줄 예정이라고 합니다. 콘넥트의 발표를 힘찬 박수와 함께 맞이하겠습니다.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ravi Pandit. I am the founder and CEO of Connect. Now, as we all know, the entire world has started to travel again after the pandemic. And travelers coming to South Korea is no different. But, just a moment ago, Dan mentioned about the culture map. Is Korea really ready to welcome millions and millions of tourists? This is the data from last year. According to the Ministry of Culture, there's been a $9 billion drop just last year in tourism alone. And if we start to look at the per capita spending, we see that over the last 3 years, there's been a consistent drop in spending. What are the reasons? Now, the Ministry of Culture has listed out these 3 major aspects which has led to this drop. Information gap, lack of services and products which are natively being made only for Koreans and not for foreigners. And finally, a complex payment system. So, what we have done is that we've created a perfect solution that combats all of these barriers and allows the market to really thrive. With this, let me actually explain a bit. I have a bit of time. So with this, we've connected two major aspects. The first aspect is a search engine. Now, this is a hyper-localized search engine which is tailored for the Korean market. Because we all need information. That's the first major gap mentioned by the government. Secondly, we also have different modes where people can talk directly with the foreign community, talk with local experts, so on and so forth. We launched our service around 8 months ago. And in the first 6 months, you see that we got 100,000 visitors from 96 different countries. Now, what's very interesting is that these 100,000 users that came with zero marketing. We didn't spend a single dime on marketing. We also learned a lot about our users, which countries are users coming to search about Korean information. As we see, the US, foreigners in Korea, Germany, China, so on and so forth. What's very interesting is that we also found out what are people wanting to know about South Korea. Then we found out some of these major areas: mobility, visas, clinics, and of course, job platforms. That's not the only thing that we learned. In our initial model, we used OpenAI wrappers or ChatGPT wrappers, and we used our custom prompts to generate the search results. But what we noticed is that the answers were just not accurate enough. So we went ahead and we created and fine-tuning our own LLM model, which will help to combat hallucinations. We are also upgrading our technology to allow for blockchain authentication and payments. As you can see, we've just partnered with one of the top blockchain authentication and payment companies in Korea to now allow foreigners with just their passports to be able to do every kind of service which is in Korea. So for example, if you want to book a taxi, just come to our platform, do the verification, link your foreign card, and it's done. Now, for those who don't know, in Korea, you need 3 things to be able to avail any kind of service. You need a Korean phone number, a Korean bank account, and you need a residence card. But to get these 3 things, it requires around 90 days. We've eliminated every one of those procedures. We've also now, looking at our search results, started targeting companies to be able to provide mobility features. As you can know, with your foreign card, you cannot use it on the bus, you cannot use it on the subway, and you cannot avail any other type of mobility service. We've just partnered with LG CNS to be able to combat again that, so that it opens a $3 billion market for us by allowing them to use it through our own systems. Not only that, car rentals can now be done. Not only that, even visa. You no longer have to go to the visa office anymore because everything can be done online through our platform. Even legal services. And finally, a big one, medical tourism. Medical tourism is a huge market for Korea. Unfortunately, there's no transparency when it comes to medicine. One vendor can charge you $1 million where another one can charge you $2 million. In our platform, we provide transparency pricing. And of course, even with Chungju City, as we said, about 80% of the tourists only come to Seoul. That's not right. There's a lot of beauty in the rest of Korea as well. So we just partnered with Chungju City, where we're going to be creating a one-stop tourism platform for Chungju City. That means that now you can search for areas in Chungju, book them, and enjoy the beauty of Korea, and not only the beauty of Seoul. We've also partnered with Konkuk University, a leading university in Korea, who's going to be analyzing every factor within our own business and helping us to identify each of the features that we've done, conduct surveys where it's needed, and then advise us with our business solutions. Not only that, we are also just tied with one of the leading UN agencies in India, and the work that we do is not only about just generating money, it's about giving back to the society. The information that we capture through our system will now be presented at UN National Assemblies in New York and Geneva. Now, why me? Why us? Well, first of all, as you can see, I run the largest foreign community in Korea since the last 8 years. Not only that, as you can see, through all the stresses of starting a company, I've actually done everything in Korea. I came here as a master's student, changed my visa, and then now finally started into a job. You see the Koreanness, I think I became more handsome as I proceeded with this. But not only that, I've also worked in India, and I've helped 2 enterprises become millions and millions of dollars for them. As you can see, the second largest sports property in the world, I was one of the founding members who led in the management team. It's called the Indian Premier League, valued at about $16.5 billion today. Not only this, I'm also one of the 9 executive members that helped write the sports policy for the government of India, which this year just became live. Here's our go-to-market strategy. We want to be using our current user base to start to use them as beta testers and to expand and to really understand, well, how to expand our system and make it global. Then we want to use the partners that we've captured so far and utilize them to be able to provide services on our platform. And then finally, we want to be able to create our own products, which will be in the 3rd year. Here's our business model. Of course, we want to really utilize city tourism into B2G contracts. We want to be able to use advertising, commissions, and then service fees. I think due to time limits, but as you can see, we've broken everything down, and we're hoping that by year 3, we can generate around a $14 million revenue. Now, I think in terms of the team is very important. I think there's 3 things that's needed for our project. The first thing that's needed is that we need someone who really understands the Korean market. And we've got a fantastic advisor, Dr. Lee, who currently works in LG CNS and helps us navigate the mobility market here in Korea. Secondly, we need someone who's worked with big companies, Fortune 500 companies, that has actually built super apps, which is what we're looking to build. And that we get in the form of our CTO, Bhanu. And then finally, you need a crazy CEO who can withstand all the negative, all the failures, who's already been on this roller coaster ride many, many times and hasn't given up. And I think that CEO is me. And in this journey, we incorporated this company last year in Korea in March. And since then, we've gone on a very, very roller coaster ride, as I mentioned. We've taken part in startup competitions. We've won many. We've failed at many. We've been able to win some gentle grants. We've also filed our patents. And as we said, we've got about 100,000 users, and we're now hopefully aiming for 300,000 within this current year. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.
Thank you for your presentation. 콘넥트의 열정적인 발표 감사합니다. 다음으로 소개할 기업은 크로스허브입니다. 전 세계 어디서나 안전하고 간편하게 본인 인증과 결제를 연결하는 글로벌 디지털 인프라를 구축하고 있는 스타트업입니다. 크로스허브의 발표를 큰 박수로 청해 듣겠습니다.
Hello everyone. Currently, CrossHub is making a payment solution based on the blockchain identity authentication service. Just imagine that you can use your local payment in another country as well. We're not just stopping as an imagination, but we're actually building it. Currently, as of last year, 1.4 billion has moved to other country for various purpose, for traveling or exchanging students, however, for the medical purpose or for the business purpose. However, because of the regional specificity, they're blocked to prove themselves and they cannot pay with their local payments. Just as of one use case in South Korea, all the personal information are handled by the telecom services. Therefore, even though the foreigners, when they visit South Korea, when they want to use the Korean infrastructure, they're blocked with everything. Therefore, we made a solution suite. Once they come to South Korea or once they visit other countries, we're gonna be providing them an ID card, and based on that, they can use their local payment as well. First one is the next generation identity verification system. It looks like the general KYC system, scanning the passport based on the OCR technology, doing the facial authentication, and providing an ID card. However, this is just a front end. In the back end, there are 3 main technologies that's happening. I guess everyone might be familiar with decentralized identifier technology, which is only compatible with Web3. However, with our solution, it could be compatible with Web 2 and Web 3 both. In the previous days, companies were saving their data on their database storage. However, for us, individuals are keeping on their cell phone. And when the application asks that we need your name or credential information, individuals are going to be selecting and going to be sending to the company, sending to the application, and in the middle, cross-hub companies just going to be distinguishing whether if this is manipulated or not. However, for the individuals, individual information privacy matters as well. Therefore, we do have a zero knowledge proof technology. So to mention about that, individual keeps the fragment information and the company keeps the fragment information. So by going through a million times of the algorithm and by matching it, we're just figuring out that yes, it's that person. Next one is a seamless and a borderless payment, which we call BPay. You can just simply think like an e-wallet. However, we added the payment gateway service inside there. It could be compatible with any payment that you're using. However, since that we do have a special verification system in the front end, you can pay for your professional license or diploma or the career certifications as well. As of last year, our company was launched last year, May. We started the POC with the MoPay, which is a well-known payment. And for this year, we're trying to be expanding into Thailand, Japan, and also the Techcombank, which is #1 commercial bank in Vietnam, which also includes MoPay. And for United States, we do have Stripe and PayPal that we're continuing the POC right now. And based on Southeast Asia countries, we've gathered 270,000 users for now. Once you think of the global remittance, it costs about 5 to 7% as a transaction fee because of the SWIFT code I have to mention. However, because of the technology that we own, we're preferring and suggesting less than 3% to the customers. Since we finished our MVP service last year, November, we did the ID solution and the payment solution and the global remittance. We're going to be adapting this solution into app, insurance, and education, and eventually to the quantum sector as well. This year, September, we finished the seed round and got back from 4 lead VCs in South Korea, and we're continuing the pre-series right now. And for this year, we did the funding for about $3.4 million. Our business model is quite simple, B2B2C and B2G. Since that our main business model is B2B2C, we're trying to visit other countries as much as we can right now and trying to find the partnerships in the local countries as well. And just for this year, we visited 20 cities in 13 countries right now. So therefore, we do have a lot of partnerships. And back of all this great performance, we do have our strong leadership team members. So our team members has a great expertise in the public sector and the private sector as well. For the public sector, our CEO has been working in e-government, which is Government 24. And for the private sector, our CEO has been working in LGU+, staying as a head of the division in there. So as of a head count, we do have like 18 for now. Thank you.
네, 클로스업을 발표까지 잘 들었습니다. 감사합니다. 세 번째 순서는 일본 HR 테크 혁신 기업 파인디의 발표입니다. 일본 도쿄에 본사를 둔 이 기업은 AI 기반 엔지니어 역량평가 솔루션으로 한국과 타이완 시장 진출을 본격화하고 있습니다. 일본의 파인디를 큰 박수로 만나보시겠습니다.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daniel from Findee, Japan's leading platform for engineers. I'm also Korean, currently working in Findee Korea for business expansion globally in Korea market and especially in Asia market. So Findee's mission is pretty clear: to help every engineer to reach their full potential using data and AI. We also believe that great engineers drive great innovation. So Findee started business in 2016. Now, today, we have about 370 member team, backed by top investors like Global Brain, SMBC Venture Capital, and KDDI and LB Investment of Korea. So our leadership team also brings both business and technical depth. So our Yuichiro Yamada, CEO, founder of Findee, who have spoken on this stage earlier today. was from a consultant at BCG and also an executive officer at Virgil. And on the other hand, we have CTO Masasato, also co-founder of FID. He is AI and data expert from the University of Tokyo. So there are about 3 main businesses in FID, which also mentioned from our CEO Yamada-san previously. We have FID, also known as FID Job. It's a recruitment platform for full-time engineers. And we have FID Freelance, recruitment platform of freelance engineers. And FID Team Plus, developer productivity SaaS, which is also our main business for global model. We also support like review site for DevOps tools like FID Tools and AI services like FID AI Plus and FID Insights. So in total, we have about 3,800 companies and 240,000 engineers are using our platform. So we believe there's a challenge in most organizations that software development is still a black box. So managers rely on intuition, not data, to access their team productivity. So eventually those steps leads the teams for unfair evaluation, low engagement, and sometimes inefficient decision making. So that's what FindD wanted to solve. So we built FindD Team Plus. FindD Team Plus is the productivity SaaS to help the companies to understand their engineering team. So you basically can integrate productivity tools like GitHub, GitLab, and Jira to visualize your team's performance. We basically measure our productivity by using 2 different frameworks. First is KODA, which was made by a Google research team, and Space Framework. Space Framework was made by Microsoft Research and also engineers from GitHub. So with those 2 frameworks, we measure, identify bottlenecks of the team, and also measure extra output. And not just that, but to create a fair and data-driven culture for the company. So what makes FindD so unique is how everything connects. So we basically support engineering from hiring to freelancing and to teams' productivity, all within one ecosystem. So all products share one data graph. So now we can understand the talent and performance in the way no one else can. So and the results speak for themselves. We managed to grow 160% year over year, reaching about $25 million in revenue last year. And in this year, May, we also got fundraised for our Series D funding, about $40 million, with the post valuation of 18 billion yen, that is about $120 million. So our business model is really simple. SaaS subscription plus success-based hiring fees. So we can say that FindD service is scalable, profitable, and sustainable. So we have top-listed DX enterprises to fast-growing startups. And as you can see, we have so many companies working with FindD. So this traction proves that our strong market fit. So when it comes to DX-related investment in Japan, we are expecting investments will rise from 3.5 to 6 billion US dollar. That's trillion yen. So by 2030, and that's because Japan's now digital transformation and AI ecosystem is booming. So this is sharp change ratio by occupational category. So the demand of highly skilled software engineers is about 10 times higher than supply. And with the rise of Gen AI, companies now need to focus not just on hiring people, but to focus more on how team perform. That's exactly what FindD delivers as well. We can analyze the actual data of using AI in the productivity team, engineers teams, and see how much they enhance the performance for the team. So I believe we have our biggest strength and advantage is the mix of technology and human understanding. So with the we use AI to analyze engineering data, where we will also understand how people works. So we understand what motivates engineers. We also understand like how organization grow in the market. So with those combination, makes our solution more powerful and trusted. So now after proving our model in Japan, now we are going global, starting with Korea. We believe Korea's SaaS and AI ecosystem share the same DNA as ours. So we are planning to build Asia's largest engineering data platform. Engineering data platform for every engineers across the region. So our vision is to create a platform that unlocks software engineers' highest potential. But we are not just a recruitment platform, but we are actually building the core infrastructure for engineering potential in the digital era. So we are today here to unlock that potential across Japan, Korea, and beyond. Thank you very much.
파인디의 발표 감사합니다. 네, 다음은 국내 최초 종합 IP 투자 플랫폼 아이피샵입니다. IP 시장의 새로운 가치 창출을 통해 글로벌 모델에 도전하는 이 기업은 모든 분야의 IP를 거래할 수 있는 아이피샵의 발표를 큰 박수로 청해 듣겠습니다.
Okay. Hello everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm Jinri, Division Head of Aipishap, and we are building an integrated IP trading platform that combines culture, art, and finance. In simple terms, we turn songs and content into investable assets, creating a fair ecosystem where artists and fans and investors can all benefit together. Since we established our company in 2020, Aipishap has continued to grow steadily. We have built strong partnerships with investors like NHN Books and Asa Brand, and today we hold over 600,000 IPs, the largest firm in Korea, which cumulated revenue of about $2.2 million, and a total of $7.5 million in investment raised. It's just a seed round. Let's look at how music ownership has evolved. In the 1990s, we owned CDs and LPs. In the 2000s, we moved to digital downloads. And from 2010 to 2020, it became streaming. And now, in 2025, we are entering the age of finance integrated music assets, a new paradigm where content itself becomes a tradable financial product. But today, 9% of streaming revenue goes to the top 1% of artists, while most creators struggle to make a living. The fans have no direct way to participate in the growth of the artists they love. The industry needs a model that creates shared value between creators and audiences. And that's why we built Aipishap, a transparent IP trading and investment platform where anyone can buy, sell, and profit from content ownership. When fans purchase an artist's IP, they share in the revenue generated by that content. It's not just about listening to music anymore, it's about learning and growing with it. On our platform, various artists' IPs are already being traded. What's interesting is that even lesser known artists can see their royalties value increase over time as their recognition and future activities grow. In other words, even early stage creators can offer long-term investment potential, which makes Aipishap a new type of cultural investment platform. Unlike NFT or indirect investment models, aipishare provides direct ownership and real rights transfer. So we manage the entire process from production and promotion to settlement in one system. And our strengths lie in transparency, artist discovery, and content production capacity. And beyond trading, we developed MPS, the music providing system, a B2B music data supply solution. It provides AI-ready blockchain secure music data, serving copyright and data reliability issues in AI trading. The data labeling market is projected to reach $57 billion by 2030, and MPS is positioned to become the core infrastructure for this new market. Our business combines B2C, IP trading, and B2B data services. Revenue comes from IP sales, royalties, and SaaS subscriptions. We focused on building our domestic foundation through 2024, and as of 2025, we are expanding globally, entering markets in Asia, in Europe, and North America. This year marks a key inflection point for our transition into a global IP finance platform. We are selected among Seoul's core 100 global investment attractive startups and received multiple awards, including the K Digital Brand Award and Grand Prize at Korea Universities and AI and Blockchain Startup Competition. And we are also collaborating with VCIT on SaaS development and with IX Swap in Singapore for RWA market expansion. Okay, and aipishare, we are not just digital music. We are building a new financial ecosystem for culture, so where creators can fund their art, and fans can own a part of their favorite works, and investors can participate in sustainable cultural growth. So that is the future we are creating at aipishare. So we welcome partners and investors who share this vision. Thank you.
네, 아이피샵의 발표 감사합니다.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Kim, CEO of KODA. We are out of time, don't we? Mr. Kim told me less than 5 minutes. So we are doing urban core hub infra business. We use our clients' money, like large enterprise, governments, metropolitan, to preemptively capture urban infrastructure. On top of that infrastructure, we generate high margin revenue like advertising, software, data gathering. The problem is our city is lack out of infrastructure that protect citizens and customers from climate issues like heavy rain and heat waves. This is a public welfare issue for governments, customer experience issue for enterprise, especially Korea, which has transformed into city-state. So as you can see, we install this IoT-based hub at the key urban locations like metro, subways, bus stop, convenience store, park, and we provide essential services. We have launched our first service as umbrella and sunbrella rent. Citizens can rent umbrella less than 3 minutes. Just access, QR, scan. This service increased in new subscribers in a very short period of time. So our business model is zero capital risk plus high margin structure. What it means is, first, we're selling this hub, hardware sale. Clients purchase this hub directly. It's $3,000 per unit. And we transfer hardware product cost to the clients. So we're perfectly solving our initial cash flow. Second, software subscription. Paying to buy this hub is just an entry ticket to our platform. Clients pay monthly maintenance fee to us to use KODA system. 3, platform revenue. The real business is built on top of this infrastructure. Advertising, data gathering. We confirmed $80,000 advertising with just 10 units. So key traction number 1, our pilot program, 6 months in Daegu City subway. With just 10 units of hub, we got 4,000 new subscribers, and Daegu City was a surprise with the overwhelming success. So they confirmed $300,000 budget to expand all stations next year. Key traction 2, explosive market demand. As you can see, we have lots and lots of inbound inquiries. We no longer do outbound sales. There's so many of them, like KT, Hyundai, department store, Kakao, Seoul City. We are now in a position to select our customers. Key traction 3. We were selected as a core consortium member of the $14 million Smart City National Project. We're the only startup in this group. So last year, we started in 2022, and last year we made $430,000 and projecting $1 million this year. The summary. So KODA is a model chosen by clients like large enterprises in Seoul City, Ansan City, Daegu City. On top of that infrastructure, we making high margin value, advertised data gathering that all corporation wants to join. We have received approximately $42,000 in our first investment by Accelerator. We are looking for this round because we already lost 30% of our inbound clients because we're lacked out of prepared hubs. So we need more firmware guy and develop a software. That's it. Thank you for listening.
네, 마지막 KODA의 발표까지 모두 마쳤습니다. 감사합니다. 이상으로 2025 디지털 미디어 테크쇼 창업경진대회 5개 팀의 열정적인 피팅을 모두 마쳤습니다. 현재 공정하고 엄정한 심사를 위해 심사위원단께서 잠시 최종 채점 및 심사 결과를 취합하고 있습니다. 청중
And I'm very happy to be in Korea again once more. And thank you for everything and thanks for the presentations. I'm a part of London VC Network member, so as a delegation that we are here today, and I'm happy to see that a lot of companies from Korea is interested in going global. Just for me, I'm Khan, managing partner at Tenity. We are a VC. We invested in previously Korean founders, and we are looking forward to invest more. Basically, we are a Swiss fund. We invest in fintechs in early stages. I think Korea is very strong in fintech area as well. They also asked me to speak for a few minutes. And what I'm just going to say is, as a Turkish person, what I see in entrepreneurship is a very Western entrepreneurship thing happening in the US, which I would say is the best of the sales, and a little bit more Asian side of the coin, which is more engineering, product design, and maybe the precision, which you can actually see from the all engineered products in Korea. So I think there is a gap. I think we need to learn a little bit about the sales part, because at the end of the enterprise is making sure that commercially our solutions are profitable and we can make it global solutions. And honestly, I can definitely believe that all the solutions that you guys have is the perfect product. I see so many solutions and startups around this event and the expo today. I really enjoy it. It's super nice, and I see that you are always opening up for like new markets, including like Asian countries, and also maybe thinking about UK and historically a lot with the US. So I'm hoping that this would be a great impact to Korean economy the years to come, because as a nation you created a lot of household names, and I do believe that you have the potential to create the next generation of those kind of entrepreneurs and ventures in this country. Thank you very much for having us, and hopefully we will have the time to announce the winner today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 네, 저희 심사가 취합되는 동안 먼저 럭키드로우 이벤트 먼저 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 저희 럭키드로우 이벤트는요, 최정인 아나운서님께서 진행을 해주시겠습니다. 네, 이제 바로 최고 영예 대상 시상하도록 하겠습니다. 대상 시상은 본 컨퍼런스 공동으로 주최해 주신 디지털융합산업협회 김기흥 회장님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다. 김기흥 회장님을 무대 위로 모시겠습니다. 네, 모두의 기대를 한 몸에 받고 있는 2025 디지털 미디어 테크쇼 창업경진대회 대상, 그 주인공은 바로 누구일지 회장님 발표 부탁드립니다.
예, 오래 기다리셨습니다. 이번 창업경진대회 행사를 위해서 먼저 발표를 하기 전에 이 행사를 우리가 세미나 컨퍼런스는 제가 기획을 했고, 그다음에 이제 창업경진대회는 우리 김재설 의장님이 기획을 하고, 해외에 계신 분은 벤처 VC분들을 초대를 해가지고 기획을 했습니다. 그다음에 또 오늘 하루 종일 사회를 보신 우리 박수정 본부장님, 또 아나운서 이상의 실력을 갖고 계시는 박수정 본부장님한테 박수를 한번 환영해 주시면 고맙겠습니다. 심사는 좀 공정하게 이루어졌고요. 그 다음에 이제 이것이 처음 우리가 시행을 하는 것입니다. 그래서 앞으로 창업을 좀 증진시키고, 우리가 이 창업을 통해서 계속 유니콘으로 발전할 수 있는 기업을 우리가 발굴한다는 또 그런 취지의, 또 국가 경제에 또 기여를 한다는 취지에서 우리가 또 행사하려고 하면 또 이 창업 후원금을 또 우리 김재석 의장님께서 1,000만 원을 또 기부를 해주셨습니다. 박수 한번 해주시면 고맙겠습니다. 그래서 앞으로 내년도에는 더욱더 알차고 많은 기업들이 이제 참여하고 홍보를 해서 더 발전될 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 그래서 또 해외도 VC 오신 분들 환영을 하고, very excited, inviting from foreign countries, England, UK, and Japan is very happy to participate in the excellent conference. 예, 발표를 하도록 하겠습니다. 우리가 1등은 우리 아이피샵이 1등을 했습니다. 예, 축하합니다.
네, 수상하신 아이피샵 기업은 무대 위로 올라와 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 대상 수상 기업은 아이피샵입니다. 진심으로 축하드립니다. 아이피샵 팀은 무대 위로 올라와 주시기 바랍니다. 대상 수상의 영광을 아는 아이피샵 팀에게 아낌없는 축하의 박수 부탁드립니다. 저희 시상자와 수상팀은 잠시 중앙의 카메라를 향해 서주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 저희 중앙에서 사진 촬영이 있을 거고요. 이번 경진대회 통해서 세계시장 잠재력 보여주신 5개 본선 진출팀 모든 노력과 열정에 깊이 감사드립니다. 대상 수상팀뿐만 아니라 모든 참가팀의 도전은 저희에게 큰 영감이었습니다. 오늘의 결과와 상관없이 모든 팀의 글로벌 성장을 응원하며 아낌없는 지원을 약속드리겠습니다. 네, 사진 촬영이 다 끝내신 두 분께서는 원래 자리로 편히 착석해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 여러분 시간이 조금 지체되었는데요. K-벤처스 VC, AI, 블록체인, 스마트테크 융합 및 스테이블 코인 전략 컨퍼런스가 이제 마무리되었습니다. 오늘 우리는 미래 디지털 경제를 선도할 핵심적인 통찰을 나누었습니다. 이 자리에 함께하신 모든 분들이 혁신적인 지식과 영감을 얻으셨기를 바라겠습니다. 그리고 바쁘신 일정에도 불구하고 귀한 시간을 내어 최고의 강연과 통찰을 나누어 주신 모든 연사와 모더레이터, 심사위원님들, 무엇보다 컨퍼런스를 빛내주신 참석자 여러분께 깊은 감사의 말씀을 전달드립니다. 저희는 내년에도 한 차원 더 높은 혁신적인 주제와 비전을 가지고 여러분을 다시 찾아뵐 것을 약속드리며 이것으로 2025 디지털 미디어 테크쇼 K-벤처스 VC, AI, 블록체인, 스마트테크 융합 및 스테이블 코인 전략 컨퍼런스를 모두 마치겠습니다. 지금까지 진행을 맡은 사회자 박수정이었습니다. 감사합니다.